Hey everybody, it is a different view than what you're used to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a make it with me video for Maggie Mae. This is a commissioned piece. So I want to show you what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using this fabric that she sent with her project. I am going to be finishing this as well as a carrot. So when she gave me Maggie Mae, it was right around springtime, and she gave me this. Now, obviously, that is going to clash so bad. So I have a stack of wool blend felt that I use from time to time. I don't have a supplier where I live with any. I literally have Hobby Lobby and Michael's here. There is one quilting store that I can go to, but they don't have wool blend wool as well. So one of my friends, she carries this wool blend felt. And so when I go to Stitching Texas, I always pick up a stack. And these are the ones that I chose this time because I do want to make some strawberries. And then I did just choose some good neutrals as well. These like corally peachy colors, they match perfect. And so I may end up making two with this. And then I'm going to, instead of using grass, I was thinking about taking this apart and doing a tutorial of how to do that. We're just going to make our own and go with it because that's what I would normally do. Instead of using the grass, I'm going to try to use some of this chenille. Is it chenille or Chanel? Chanel. I always get confused. And then I hear my friend Rachel correcting her mother. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm going to use this coming out of the top of the carrot. Mine will not have this little like indention like this, but we're going to make it. We're going to do it together, and hopefully y'all can learn how my brain works. I mean, I don't even know that I know how my brain works. But anyways, so I have already went ahead and put lightweight, what is this stuff called? Interfacing on here. And I've done it on the radish as well, just to protect the stitches. I've got some cotton batting here. Now, what I am going to say is, I'm not sure what she stitched Maggie Mae on. I don't know the stitch count. All I know is her Maggie Mae is way bigger than mine. Now, I stitched my Maggie Mae on a 22 count hardanger. Lamb's wool hardanger. So you see the size difference. So that being said, the oval piece that's for the radish is too small. I mean, like it's too small. Like when I held it up, it wasn't going to work. So, and I'm not sure. I'm sure the heart will be fine. So what I done was pine berry. Let me get rid of the, let's see, the pattern. Pine Berry Lane gave this little strawberry. Let me see. This strawberry. Well, this is all a full pattern. I mean, there's 3 patterns on here. But they gave this away. And on it, it has this little needle book, right? So I had just printed that out because one of the ladies I follow on Pinterest is doing that. So what I done was I just roughly traced it and cut it out on chipboard. And what I do is, if you'll notice, it's not, I'm using not fabric scissors. I'm using cheap scissors because I go through them because I cut a lot. So what I do is I will take this sanding block and I will just sand the edges until they are smooth. So I said all that to say I used the freebie needle book. I think it may be for this one actually. For this radish. I'm going to do a needle book for this one as well. I've already traced one out here just using this as a template. It will be fine. I'll make it look good. Because if I don't, if you know me, you know I'll redo it. So I used a friction pen. I'm going to use the sanding block templates that I just cut out on paper. Okay, the other thing that we are going to do on here is I'm going to use these Lizzie Kate buttons. It is from Santa's Got the Goods. I don't know where she got these, but I'm using those. And then she wants one of these little rosettes right up here on the cardigan. So she's going to get her buttons. She's going to get the rosette on the cardigan. And then we will go from there. I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to get busy and we're going to make things. Let's make some pretty things today. Let me get my area cleaned up. I am going to be sewing, so I'm not going to be talking. I will just fast forward it through that. What I'm going to do and the way I've done, all I know how to do is the ones I've done. I do know that since I've made two Maggie Mae's. Carrie from Tiger Lily released her tutorial on how she does hers, and I love them. However, it's not how I make mine, and I'm just going to show you how I make mine. Everybody that I'm finishing for, they are okay, and they trust me with their stuff, and so you got to love it when you have friends that have a lot of confidence in you. Okay, so this is how I have done mine previously. Let me get my pen. I'm going to sit down. So I just take one of these seam, what are they called? Seam gauges. And I just take, and I'm going to like kind of just roughly go over about 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And I just kind of roughly draw myself like a little template. I'm going to look here, and I want it to go in here. So I'm just going to kind of gauge it because I want it to go in here, because if I don't, I can't, I want to go close enough that it looks good, but not too close, right? Where it's going to mess with the integrity. This is what's worked for me. Everybody that I am doing these products or these projects for, they really have a lot of confidence in me. So I just trust the process and hope that I don't let anybody down. Everybody that I'm doing finishing for, they know I'm not a professional. You know, I'm just over here doing my best. And then I'm just going to kind of roughly go like this. I don't think it has to be precise. And what I will say is I'm going to just kind of guess here, because I do want it to go in I want it to go in, because if it doesn't and there's too much fabric, I just don't think it looks good. So I'm just going to kind of guesstimate and give myself a little rough outline so that when I stitch, and on this fabric you can see, but some of them are a little bit harder to see. And so right or wrong, I'm not sure. I told you, I'm just going to show you how I do things. And I know there are plenty of other people that do actual tutorials. If you want to know the right way or whatever, you're welcome to watch their videos. So we're just going to kind of go in here. And I give myself just a little, maybe I guess it would be kind of considered a template. Now, when I done my first one, I wished that I would have gone inside of, I have a dog hair on this, the legs a little bit more. So I am going to make sure that I kind of do that on these. And she's got plenty of room for me to kind of do that with. And so there again, I'm going to show you my Maggie Mae. I wanted it to go in just because I like the way that looks. I wished I would have gotten a little bit more batting down here in her toe, but nobody knows it. Okay. Squirrel. Did y'all see that? Okay. So this is kind of going to be my guide when I am sewing my Maggie Mae. Not necessary. You can kind of eyeball it. I just like to have some lines that I can go by. My other machine is on the fritz, and I needed to get some jobs done, so I went and purchased a cheap Brother sewing machine. I want to say this one cost me $100. I need to take my other one into the shop, but it usually takes him just a little while to, I don't know how to get this angle. Let me see if I can do it like this. I don't know if I'm going to get a good angle or not, y'all. I'm going to do my best. I'm sorry. I am definitely not a professional. And I don't have a very good setup to do this. But I told y'all I would show you how to do mine. And so I feel like I need to keep my word and do that. So I think I am going to start. I'm trying to decide where I'm going to start. And I'm going to stitch mine all the way up. And the reason I'm going to do that, I'm trying to see if you can see. The reason I'm going to do that is because I cut mine in the back. If you don't want to do that, this is probably not the video for you to see how I do this. I cannot see this that well. Okay, angles. You see. All right. And my other machine has a push button, and I'm not used to, let me see if I can get that to focus. I'm not used to a pedal anymore, so. Oh, you know what? I need to, no, my stitch length is good. Let me just check it. Oh, that's pretty wide. I need to go smaller on my stitch length. And I just go slow. I'm not in a hurry. I'm sorry if my hand being in the way is annoying. I just wanted y'all to see in real time how this is, like how I do mine. And I'm not a seamstress, just so y'all know. I know how to sew well enough to get by. And I really want these ears to look good, so. I want to take my time. And I like that hers is bigger than mine because it gives me plenty of room. I'm trying to look in there. I think I can go in 1 or 2 more stitches. I'm gonna do 1. I don't want to get too close. My pedal is creeping. I have a hardwood floors. And then we're going to go back right where we started. And because I did shorten my stitch length, I started about here, I'm going to go ahead and go back over this just because I want it to be nice and secure. Because when you are tugging and pulling on these, it does matter. Push that out of the way for now. Okay, let me get this readjusted up a little bit more. Oh, you know what I did not get? I'm gonna use this. I just want to double check all of my stitches, and then I want to see where I'm at on this. And this is where I am. And I'm okay with the way this looks. I don't know how well y'all can see it, but I think she looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to cut. And like I said, I am not a professional. All I know is I have friends ask me to finish for them. And so that's what I'm doing. They have way more confidence in me because I can sure doubt myself. I don't feel qualified enough to be doing these if I'm being 100% honest. And we're all friends here, right? So okay. Now, the one thing I want to do is make sure I just cut in here just a little bit. So that when we turn it, she looks good. Okay, now the most important thing is when you are doing this to make sure that your stitching is not in the way. And I like to start kind of about right here because I'm going to do that heart over the back and make this a scissor keep, which was the intended pattern. Do I have it right here? The intended pattern is for it to be a scissor keep. I don't want there to be a glare. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I did see somebody make that radish a purse, and I love that so much. However, I just decided to do a needle book. And I want to get it just wide enough. I feel like I can comfortably turn it out. Trying to be as easy with those stitches as I possibly can. And this one's much easier to turn. I will say on the smaller ones, you definitely have to just take your time. I am using a wooden knitting needle. It's what I've used for mine, and I'm okay with the way they look. This one is much easier. I don't know what size this is, y'all, but some of these are a little bit challenging to get them to turn good. This is my third Maggie Mae that I've done, just so y'all know. Did I say that? I done one for my friend Madison, and then I done mine that you've seen, and then I'm doing this one. It's actually my fourth animal cracker. There's a little bit of a pucker right there, but I think it's okay. Once I get it stuffed, it's going to be just fine. Okay, I am going to go over to the machine, and I'm going to press this. But I am happy with the way she looks. Like I said, there's just a tiny little pucker right here, but I'm okay. It will be fine. I'm going to get my batting. I'm going to get my crushed walnut shells. And no, it was in the drum that I done. I added some pine shavings. And I will do that for drums, but I won't do that for Maggie Mae or any of the animal crackers because it is super messy. This is another one that I finished yesterday. I am very pleased with the way it turned out. I don't know if you can see. I just used a plain brown on the back. And then I done bunches of ruffles. This is the way I chose to do the back. I have pins. I have no idea where they're at. I looked. But I use denim. I use pins to pin. I use safety pins to pin to denim. Words were apparently hard. I wish I could have gotten it a little bit even, but I was starting to run out of my trim here for this. And so I started getting a little cinchy right in this area. And I can tell it's a little wonky, but it's handmade and I'm okay with it. I don't think anybody's going to look at that and say, oh my word, that's terrible. So let me go press this. Let me grab my, my filling and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have got her pressed and we are going to use our, walnut shells. I need to refill this right quick. I should have done that before I got on. I'm sorry. If this is your first time here and you're wondering what this thing is, this little plastic deal that I'm going to use, this is for decorating cookies. I want to say it's a sugar bell. container for royal icing without the tip, and I have found that it works magnificent. Another one of my knitting deals, and then this is for paper crafting, and I use both of those because I really want to pack them in. I have a loaded needle, but I don't know if I have enough loaded or enough thread loaded. Let's see. We'll figure it out in a minute. I've got my needle because I will Frankenstein the back of her. And this is how I do mine. You're going to pull this apart really, really good because you want it packed really good in there. And that's what I did not do to Maggie Mae's one leg. I did it to one of them, but I didn't pack it as good as I'm gonna. And so this one, she's gonna pay me for doing it, so I'm gonna have to do, I guess, double check. When I think I've got it in there, I'm gonna stuff it a little bit tighter. That's why you want your stitches to be nice and small, is so when you're packing it in here, you don't ruin your project. Oh, y'all see that? I needed to pull it out just a little bit more. So I'm glad I did that. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of walnut shells because I want them packed in there really, really nice and tight. I think that's what makes these look so good. Okay, so now I'm gonna add more batting. And make sure that you're not just grabbing a handful of this and stuffing it. You wanna really pull it apart because that's what makes it pack in there nice and tight. I'm sure this is like elementary for a lot of y'all and you already know that, but just in case you don't, maybe you get a little bit of information you didn't know. Or maybe you get brave enough to try something that you previously would not have even dared trying. Okay. Walnut shells. And this is, in case y'all want to know and you don't know, this is just lizard, crushed walnuts for lizards. And you can either get it on Amazon, you can go to your pet store, and I know they even have it at like Tractor Supply and things because it's used for other bedding for different animals. So I think you can buy a 50-pound bag that way. I have not done it previously. I've not done it, but I'm using enough now that I probably need to start doing that. I want to say it's like $12 or $13 a bag, and I'm going through a bag, I don't know, every few projects because I have done some larger projects. And this is what I do. Just repeat these processes. And I hope that it's not so blurry that you can see it. I don't know, it kind of looks blurry right here. But I hope that it's not too blurry. And this is literally what you do. You just keep packing. And I don't know why I like, and I know I'm not the only one, but when you are doing a project like this, I really do think that it needs the polyfill and the walnut shells. I don't know. I've not tried using the poly pellets at all. And so I can't speak on whether or not that's good. But I would like to get some of those just to try. And I really want to make sure these feet get nice and packed. Because I thought mine was good enough, and then, you know, of course, when you get it all sewn up, and then you realize, oh, I should have added just a little bit more. And you'll notice when you're doing different projects, and I'm sure those of you that do quite a few, it's amazing sometimes the amount of product that you use. Sometimes I'm shocked about how much I use, and other times I'm shocked. I think I'm going to use more than I do. But take your time, and I'll say, I mean, you've worked hard stitching it to make something pretty, so take your time to do it. And then the other thing is, y'all finish your projects. FFO them, don't just stitch them and be done. There's so many people that have gorgeous projects they've stitched, but yet they're too scared to try something new. Y'all don't do that. Y'all finish them. I have a pretty large hole in here, so we're going to keep packing. Now it's time to start making sure she's nice and even. I've not watched a ton of video. Matter of fact, I couldn't find a video when I first done my other Maggie Mae. I could not find a YouTube tutorial on finishing the animal crackers. Like I said, I know that Carrie since then has done one, and I'm not sure if anybody else has released any. And this, like I said, this is just the way that I do it. I just busted my seam. Great. Okay, that's what you don't want to do. Welcome to reality. After all of that, I've got to pull it out because I busted the seam. Okay, we're going to keep it real, people. I'm not editing that out. And that's the hard part, to know where to stop. I'm going to try to not have to completely take all this apart. Oh, that's frustrating. So maybe I will double stitch there because it was a pretty tight. can get an angle. I'm gonna go smaller. For those of y'all that have expensive machines, you're probably dying right now like, don't do that. I don't buy expensive machines because I know me. Wish I could see better. Is that even on there? I can't see. I may have. Okay, I am making a mess. Okay, I'm gonna have to pour that out. Let me stitch this. I'm gonna do it. I really wanted to do it in real time, but I need to see this better. Hold on. Okay, excuse me. Okay, I got her stuffed. I got a thread right there. I have to trim that off. Okay, so I got her stuff. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm trying to work ahead, is I usually just take, and this ain't gonna be nothing fancy, y'all, so don't judge me on my Frankenstein stitches. Absolutely 0 people are gonna see this. Okay. Excuse me. This needle is actually a little too big for this one. It was starting to fray over here, but it really didn't matter because mine are always covered up in the back. If this would bother you, there is a product that is made that you can put on the back of your fabric, but I need mine to turn. So like I said, it doesn't matter because when I do this, when I finish it, you're not going to see all this. Good grief. That fabric is really just fraying right there. It's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and tie off. Get my knot on here. And then go through it 2 times. Excuse me. Usually I try to get a fabric or a piece of felt that's going to match this. I don't have one that's going to match this. I have this one, and I'm going to use this piece back here. And I just literally need it to be large enough to cover all of that. I have walnut shells up in my fingernails. Okay, if you don't like hot glue, don't use hot glue. This is how I do it. I'm not finished, y'all, don't panic. Okay, so then we know the next thing that I need to do is I need to make the pocket. Okay, I am going to use this heart on the pocket. I'm going to attempt to get it low enough that I cover all of that. I could cut this just a little bit bigger. These are paper scissors. And then I'm going to cut this just a tiny bit bigger. That may be too big, so we will see. I don't want it to be too big, because if I get it to be too big when I go to, I'm going to take this down just a little bit. When I go to put the scissors in, you're going to see it, and I don't want that. Okay. So we'll do it about here. And I needed this other piece of paper. I'm going to show you why in just a second. Okay, so here's my template I'm going to use. I am going to use this matching fabric. I'm going to make a heart and I'm going to come right back. I'm just going to sew one on the machine, and I'm starting to get pretty cluttered up here, so I'm going to do that and then I'll come back. I'm sorry. Hopefully y'all don't need to know how to do that. It's not hard. I'm going to take 2 pieces of this fabric, put them right sides together, cut that template. I'm going to stitch around it and then I'll be right back. Okay. I just finished putting the pocket on, and then the scissors will go in just like that. Hopefully she has a smaller pair of scissors. I usually have a small pair of scissors I show this with. And when I take pictures, I may do that, but this is just a regular pair of scissors. So you could see that it was functional. A functional pocket. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add the buttons. And I will say, I don't know. I want to hot glue this. If it were mine, I would hot glue it, but it's not my project. And so I really don't want to hot glue it, because I don't know if she wants hot glue on her project or not. So there are just sticky dots, and I'm going to let her determine whether or not she wants I don't know if y'all could see that little thread right there. Whether or not she wants glue on this or not. If she wants to glue it, I'm going to let her glue it. Otherwise, I'm just going to do that. Some people are more particular than others. Most everybody that handed me their stuff just trusts me. That's a little unnerving. Okay, so we're gonna add these buttons. Keep finding these little threads. I don't know if that was me or not. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I just had one knot in over here at the end, and I'm just gonna go in here about where I want the first button, and I'm gonna try to get right in that where the X starts on that stitch. And then I'm just gonna give this a little tug, and then that knot disappears. I may have to switch needles. And I'm just going to guess the placement. I'm gonna do my best to make these as even as possible. I may need my tweezers. What did I do with them? They were over here. I was trying to clean up. I'm gonna have to switch needles. That needle is pretty tight fit inside of those tiny holes, so I just didn't want to go smaller, because if I go too much smaller, then it's gonna, I mean, yeah, it'll be harder for me because it's a shorter needle. You see how cute that is? I want to get it tight enough that it's good, but then not too tight. Okay. This is gonna take just a minute, y'all. I'm sorry. I might try to fast forward this part of the video because we got a long ways to go. Matter of fact, I may just go off and then come back when all the buttons are on, so that y'all don't have to sit here and painstakingly watch me struggle with being able to see these buttons. I probably will do that. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so Maggie Mae's done. There she is. And the little functional pocket. There she is. Y'all, I love her. She's adorable. Okay, so the next thing, uh-oh, I found a button. The next thing I'm gonna do is we are going to make the carrot. And I made one for a different swap that I'd done a while back. The little tiny carrot on a piece that I'd done for a swap. And I'm just going to show you how I've done that. I'm going to keep Maggie Mae right there. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do this one. I just need a circle. I had this just sitting over here. I don't know if this is going to be the right size or not. This is trial and error. I don't know if that's the right thing to do when you're doing a make it with me tutorial or not. But y'all know me. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We are going to cut this out. If I wanted to get my dies out and all that for my scissors, I could, but it just seems like so much work. So we'll just do a rough cut. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to get, I think this will fit. Let's see. Perfect. So that was a scrap. Get my fabric scissors. Those will be so dull, it'll stretch this felt. As you can see, I did not even we're gonna cut it in half. And then we're gonna take it and we're just going to stitch this side here. Now let me see, do I want it to be a little bit smaller? Yeah, we're gonna cut out a little piece and I'm gonna do it to both of these at the same time because I'm gonna give her 2 carrots. I probably should do 3, but, and I'm just gonna cut out to make this shape. Okay, so I cut it in half and then just cut out a little bit more. I think I'm gonna do one a little bit lighter and do this color. Should I do, I think 3. I don't know. I guess it'll be better to have too many. Well, that would be 4. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. You don't have to be super precise on this. You've seen what we just did. Okay, there again, we're gonna fold it in half, cut it. I want them to be the same size as this, so I'm just gonna use that as a template. Hold it. We're gonna cut this sliver out. So now we've got 4, okay? And I just figured that'll give it a little bit more contrast. We're gonna give her carrots to hold. And then I'm gonna just, I should have cleaned up. I'm telling y'all, when I do projects, I make the biggest mess. I'm gonna sew all 4 of these up, and then I'm gonna cut this out, and then we'll move on. I will sand these with, I'm gonna show y'all how I do that at the same time. But I'll go ahead and I'll cut that out. I'll sew these up, and then I'll come back on. I don't think y'all wanna see all that, do you? I mean, I don't know. When you're doing a make with me, am I supposed to do every step? I never know. Because I want to show you the process, but I don't want it to be like a 2-hour video where y'all are like, this is not fun, this is boring. Oh, these scissors are getting terrible. That's why I don't use them very long. Okay, so what I'll do is I will take, I'm gonna match these up. See if I can do this over this piece of paper, because I usually do it over the trash can. I'm gonna take this sanding block. I'm gonna make sure both of these are on this side, and I'm going to attempt to get them the same size, and at the same time I am making sure that it ends up being round. So I'll do that, and then we will come back. Y'all see how it evens it out. If you have a spot that's not quite oval, you just sit there and work on it a little bit more. They are handmade projects. If I had an oval this large, I could have cut them out with my scissors machine, but I don't have one this large. I may need to look into getting one. I mean, she is going to be holding that radish. That radish is not perfectly oval. You know, it's kind of wider on one side than it is the other, like down at the bottom. What am I saying? Down at the bottom, it's a little bit where that root goes. I know that y'all know what it looks like, but I'll grab it in just a second when we start making this needle book. I haven't watched any tutorials on these, so I could be doing them way wrong. That's pretty. Felt like that was way wider. Once you get the batting and all that on there, you're not going to see that it's just a little bit. And I can work on it a little bit more. That one spot is just a little bit pointy. We need it round. So there we go. This one too. I'm sure it's just the way I cut them. Okay, so I'm going to sew these up and then I'll come back in just a second and we will move forward. Okay, so I just stitched these little carrots up. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to flip them. I have a little paintbrush right here that I think can get that a little bit sharper. If you've ever worked with felt, you know that it stretches. And so I don't want to make it like distorted, if that makes any sense. These are pretty tiny. I can barely turn this one. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is find, what did I do with my needle? Find this needle. And I probably, I need to switch to a heavier thread. Let me see. I may need to grab some other thread. 1 second. Let me just reach right here. I've got some DMC right there that I have not put on floss drops yet. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double it up. I can't see. I need my glasses on. Let me see. Oh, there's here. Okay, so we're just gonna thread this needle. Oh, I did good. And then the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to go right here through this little seam. Did I not knot it? And I'm just gonna enforce this. And then just do a tiny running stitch. When I said tiny, that was not what I meant. I hope y'all can see. I don't know how doll makers, like people that make doll clothes, I see it sometimes on Instagram and I just am so impressed. Okay, so because of these are so tiny, I'm trying to decide, do I want to just do batting? I don't know if it would be better just to do crushed walnut shells, or it probably would. Okay, I'm going to show y'all this one and then I will move forward. You're just going to cinch it up. This would be the exact same thing you would do if you're wanting to make a miniature strawberry. I mean, I know that you can see the shape. Okay, so you would do this, and then you're just going to go across to this other side, cinch, a cinch, and then we're going to cinch one more time. Ouch. I need a cough. I'm sorry. Okay. My throat's tickling. Okay, once I get these other ones done, we'll come back. Or I may get them completely finished, I'm not sure. Okay, y'all, I had this epiphany while I was making the carrots, that what if I didn't do carrots and I done strawberries? Because, I don't know, I said that a while ago about strawberries and then it was on my brain and then I'm like, strawberries are going to be perfect. So, I just roughly cut out this topper. So we're just going to use this other one as a template, and we are going to make strawberries for this Maggie Mae, because why not? It is strawberry season, and I know that Marjorie Maid was hosting, I don't know if she still is, the strawberry sow. because of the strawberry moon. I know it's over, but I keep hearing all y'all talk about it, so see, it was on my brain. I know that is Megan's friend, and so she's the Seattle Stitcher. I'm sure all of y'all know her. I was with Amelia this last weekend, and she's like, ma'am, she is beautiful. Look at her. Like, she's probably really popular. I was like, she is pretty popular. She's like, wow, I like her. I'm like, me too. I was laughing. I had to send her a text. If these come out just a little bit different, I'm totally okay with that, because there's no two strawberries that are exactly the same. And I probably will have to clean these up once I am done with the template. I knew I was gonna that one. Two more. And then we'll need that for the toppers, or for the stems, excuse me. Okay. I probably should have got some fine tip scissors up there, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to get done with this. I hope that if nothing else, this inspires you to start a Maggie Mae. I'm not sponsored by Stacy Nash. I think at this point we're all just enabling one another. Oh my word. I think this will be a finish, a cute little finish. I wish that I had one of them little teeny tiny wicker baskets. But I did come up with something else. We'll just give my friend a whole little setup to go with this. So one of y'all asked me if I would do a tutorial on making a pin cushion on the Easter egg ceramic deals. And I was sitting here, I got a bunch of these at a antique shop around here, and so I'm going to show y'all how to make a pin cushion that will match. And I may just do a little bunch of these and kind of attach them to that. We're going to move all of our templates over. We'll attach them with this is what I'm thinking. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is I'm just going to glue these. They are nothing more than just, they're going to be pretties. They're not going to be a functional strawberry, so I am okay to completely hot glue and not stitch down. I have 15 other hot glue guns, but that happens to be the one that is out right now. Okay, we're just gonna put these all on just to begin with. Oops, that one's stuck. Okay. And then we are just going to do a dab of glue. I don't know if I'm even in frame, probably not. On the edges of each one of these strawberries. And then we're just going to fold them over. We would make sure we were sewing these down if they were going to be functionally used. They're not. And I know Vanessa is a beader, so she would do some, are they called Maoki beads on these? She will have these colors on hand. And I think it would be adorable. Guess I didn't get enough glue on that. I don't want to get too much. These are pretty tiny. Sorry, my cord is not very long, so I can only do what I can do. I do have this great desire to figure out a different configuration for my crafty area because I feel like what I'm doing now is not working for me. I need to get rid of most of my paper crafting stuff because, and even planner stuff, because it's just not bringing me any joy whatsoever. I don't even have a desire to want to do it. And if I'm being honest, that gives me more room. If I don't do that, then that gives me more room for stitchy stuff. Okay, what did I do with that little piece? Dropped it on the floor. Trying to decide, should I even mess with putting stems on these if I'm just gonna do like a little, I'm thinking like just a little cluster of them and attach them and then put a little bow hanging off of this. Okay, let's work on that for a minute. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna take all 4 strands of this DMC. Gonna thread it through here, and then we're gonna put a knot in the end. And then we are going to do a running stitch. I just cut out a rough circle. I'm not sure, I don't know what size I need for that, so this is literally just a guessing. I have so many ideas in so little time. Then my brain thinks I need help, so then while I'm doing something with another end goal in mind, then exactly what happens to me. Oh, those need to be strawberries. I'm not mad about it, if I might say so. Okay, so nothing fancy. And then I'm gonna overlap just a little bit. And then what I want to do is I want to make just like a little bowl shape. And then we are just going to add walnut shells into this. There's no need for it to be anything other than that. So I'm going to hold it over the edge of this. I'm going to pour some out as needed. And then we are going to just cinch this up. And then I'm gonna see how this is fitting in here. Okay, that's actually gonna be a perfect size. Okay, so what we need to do now is I'm going to cinch this up as tight as I can get it. And then I'm going to start crossing over. And this is the exact same thing I do for any of the ones that I make that are in different containers. Hold on just a second. I'll show you some other ones that I have in mind. I have a bunch more of these. But I'm just going to just go back and forth across until it is nice and tight and nothing is coming out. Oof. Maybe should have added that fiber feel on the outside. And you're going to need a good sturdy needle for this because you're going through so many layers and you're pinching and you're pulling as you go. Doesn't have to be nice and fancy on the bottom because we are literally going to just stuff it down in here. I don't like that crease, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix that. I almost feel like it needs to be just a little bit not as round. I should have done a smaller circle. And so we're just going to shape and push and mold as we go. Like I said, I'm getting rid of these strong creases because I don't like those. Okay, so I like the way this is. I'm going to take and tie it off. One, two, pull that knot. I think I'm going to add E6000. I was going to do hot glue, and I may do both. Just because I know that E6000 is going to take 24 hours to adhere. And then I'll add a little bit of hot glue for now. So I have the E6000 in the very center. Y'all, I am so sorry. My phone went dead and I have no idea where it went dead. So I'll go through a rough little run through of what I've done. So on the strawberries, or on the carrots, I decided that I would make strawberries. So here's the strawberries that I made. I decided to tie a bow around them, and I am going to put them in Maggie Mae's hand. Let me see if I can get a better picture. We'll have to trim the bow up a little bit, but I decided I wanted to do them like that. I need to clean off that. There's glue on this strawberry, so I need to clean that off. And then I was doing a tutorial because somebody asked me how to do a finishing on different, make pin cushions, on different objects. So I have this one I'm going to do a pin cushion on. I have this one that I'm going to do a pin cushion on. They're precious. I got them at antique shops. And I was showing y'all how I took a circle, roughly cut it out, done a running stitch around it. I had this Salt Keep that I had purchased from a thrift store. They're crystal. They look like this. And I made that pin cushion, and I was doing like a 2-for-1 because somebody had asked me to do that. I was so excited that I was showing you how to do that. So hopefully you got footage of that. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I just looked up and my phone was not working. I want to adhere these, like I want to stitch them on, but I need to contact my girl first and make sure she's okay with that, because she may not want them on. If not, my original intention was to hang them off of this little pin cushion and just have them here. Another thing that would be really cute if those were in a little berry basket attached to her. I did hot glue these on. Here is the rest of this. I am so sorry. I feel I'm not very good at this, y'all. So, what I was saying is, I don't know if it's still strawberry, if it's still the strawberry sal or not. I know it was the strawberry sal from Marjorie made. I guess this is her second or third year to do it. I can't remember what I've heard. But anyways, so I just thought when I heard that, I thought it would be cute. I need this pair of scissors. I thought it would be cute to have strawberries instead of carrots. And my friend that I'm making this for, or finishing this for, she is a beader, so I know she will have some Mayuki, however you say them, beads. And she can actually do the strawberry seeds on her. She'll have this color. So, yeah, that's my tutorial. I don't know how much of it was recorded, at what point it went off, but I'm so pleased with the way she turned out. I need to get a small pair of scissors and take some pictures of her, stage her, and then send her owner pictures. But I hope that this was long enough that you got some inspiration. Sorry, my camera is wonky. That you did get some inspiration and learn something. I don't know, I was going to do this on that, and I didn't do a bow, but I did one here. So I'm okay with that. I may need to shorten them if she wants me to attach them. Ooh. Did I just pull that loose? I felt like it was a little too tight. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to quit. I'm going to leave it alone. Thanks for taking time to watch. I don't know how long this video will be, or if it will even be worth putting together, but we shall see. Bye, y'all.